So since configuration tutorials are usually longer videos, I will use an artificial voice today. And because this video in particular will be a very long one, I will probably split it in 2 videos. So things such as anti-recoil for Soldier or Baptiste will follow in a separate video. Otherwise the video would be at least 30 minutes long. Also, today's video will work for both Xbox and PlayStation. So what I will show you in today's video are the following topics. First, I will talk about the difference between XIM Apex and XIM Matrix in Overwatch 2. A lot of XIM Apex users have reported to struggle in Overwatch 2 after switching to Matrix. And in that chapter, I will tell you what you must do to solve that. So if you want your Matrix to have the same mouse aiming and aim assist as your XIM Apex, then don't skip this chapter. After that, I will go over the necessary preparation steps to play Overwatch 2. In the 3rd chapter, I will show you my hip configuration for Overwatch 2. And in the next chapter, I will tell you how to create an ADS configuration for heroes that also have a zoom functionality. This applies to Widowmaker, Ashe, and Ana. At last, I will show you how to improve the aim assist by using 3 Matrix features. In that chapter, I will also show you what kind of in-game aim assist settings are a great choice to play with. So if you want a better aim assist, or just more of it, then this chapter should be very interesting for you. Let's start with the first topic, how to make your XIM Matrix feel like a XIM Apex. For that, you must set the polling rate of your mouse to 250 Hz. You can only do that with a PC or Mac by using your mouse driver. After that, you must go into the connectivity settings of your Matrix Manager, and set the polling rate of your Matrix to 1000 Hz. You can find that option at the very bottom of the connectivity settings. Next, go to the smoothing settings in your Matrix configuration. Change the option to custom, and use the following values. Precision 15, Response 80, and Easing 2.0. If you do all of that, then your mouse movements and aim assist will feel exactly like with a XIM Apex. I will explain the reason behind that in a dedicated video in a few weeks. With this trick you can even replicate different XIM Apex synchronizations. But more about that in this upcoming video. Turning your Matrix into a XIM Apex is optional for this tutorial. You can do it, or disregard it. Anything that will be shown in the next chapters can be used with both of these approaches. Next, let's go over the necessary preparation steps. Go into your XIM configuration. In the first editing screen, press the wrench button at the top. This will launch the XIM forum, and show you the required in-game settings for Overwatch 2. Only use these in-game settings, otherwise your XIM will not work as intended. Anything that isn't displayed here can be customized to your personal preference. In the last chapter, I will show you what aim assist settings I am using in the game. Once you have adjusted your in-game settings, let's take care of the polling rate. To adjust the polling rate of your XIM Matrix, go into the top right options, and then click on Connectivity. Scroll all the way to the bottom, to find the polling rate option. I recommend to use 1000 Hz, because that will give you the most responsive mouse movements. When you have adjusted your polling rate, save your changes in the top left corner, and restart your XIM Matrix. You do that by unplugging, and replugging your XIM from the console. This is necessary to activate your polling rate changes. Next, let's adjust your Overwatch 2 configuration. Start by clicking on the Edit button in the top left corner. For the configuration color I will choose blue. And for the hotkey I will use the F1 key. That allows me to load my Overwatch 2 configuration by pressing the F1 key on my keyboard. And as a confirmation, my XIM will then show a blue LED light. To use your hotkey, you must be in the navigation mode of your Matrix, so please keep that in mind. At the bottom, you must now select your DPI value. I am using 10,800, but this configuration will work with any DPI value. Matrix will provide better mouse movements when using more DPI. So if possible, use a DPI value that is close to mine. Personally, I have not noticed any improvements when using values above 12,000 DPI, so more is not really needed. Also, some mousepads do not work well with high DPI. But a value similar to mine is usually fine on every mousepad. Next, let's swipe one time to the right, to enter the hip configuration. My preferred hip sensitivity is 50. If you are unsure what sensitivity you should use, then you can watch my sensitivity tutorial to find your most optimal mouse sensitivity. You can find a link to the video in the video description. As for the smoothing, I strongly recommend to use a custom preset. While light and deactivated are good presets, I prefer the aim assist when using custom smoothing. Here you can see my favorite smoothing settings. These will provide an excellent mouse swipe behavior that lets you cut through the aim assist bubble without any issues. So building up muscle memory for swipes and flicks becomes much easier. With these settings, there also won't be any negative aim assist experiences anymore, such as a bubble around the enemy that will push you away from the target. If you prefer to have more aim assist, then in the last chapter of this video I will show you a smoothing setup that provides more aim assist. Next, let's cover the button bindings, so swipe 2 times to the right. Here you can either copy the button bindings that you can see right now, or you go with your own ones. I recommend to open the controller settings of your game, so you can see the controller layout. That way you will know which button is assigned to which action in the game. To accelerate the binding process, here is how you can edit an existing binding. For example, my reload action is currently bound to R. By clicking on the R key icon on the left side, I can swap the assigned key. I will change it to the E key now. To do that, I will press E on my keyboard, which will then highlight the key in the button list. By selecting it, I can confirm my choice. After that, the adjustment is done. As you can see, I have now changed the binding from R to E. Next, let's take care of the SAB values. You can find those by scrolling to the bottom of your binding list. Expand the behavior simulation options, and you can find the 3 SAB values. For Overwatch, I recommend to use very low values. From my experience, a value of 0 to 20 for aiming and movement is perfect. This value range can improve the aim assist of the game. By that, I refer to things such as your crosshair being pushed away from the target when the aim assist is active. Adding SAB will not result in a drastic change, but if you have aim assist issues, then consider to use a value of up to 20. Anything above that will start to cause undesired problems when aiming or moving. To clarify, SAB doesn't increase the aim assist, but changes how your crosshair interacts with the enemy when aiming or moving. Since I have no problem with the aim assist, I will keep both values at 0. Your configuration for heroes which only shoot from the hip is now complete. Next, let's create a configuration for heroes which have a zoom functionality. So this one will be for Widowmaker, Ashe, and Ana. For that, swipe back to the beginning of this configuration. Under the hotkey option, you must now press the copy button. After that, save your configuration in the top left corner, and exit it. Create a second Overwatch configuration now. While I do that in the background, please make sure to change the relative aim sensitivity while scoped to 100% in the in-game settings. Here you have an example video of what I mean. To get this option, you must first pick the respective hero on the right side, and then adjust this setting. You will have to do that for every hero that has a zoom functionality. So Ashe, Widowmaker, and Ana. Once you have created your second configuration, open its editing menu, and click on the Paste button under the Hotkey feature. Select the full configuration option. Your Overwatch configuration will now be identical to your first one. At the top, I will now change the configuration color to green. And for the hotkey, I will choose the F2 key. As a result, I can now switch between my normal Overwatch configuration and this second one by pressing F1 or F2 on my keyboard. And by looking at the color of my XIM, I can check which configuration is currently running. Next, let's make the appropriate adjustments for the aim down sights mode. First, swipe 3 times to the right to enter the button bindings. Scroll all the way to the bottom and expand the game roles menu. Bind the left trigger to the ADS functionality here. This will create an aim down sights configuration. To enter it, swipe one time to the left now. Tick the box to activate this new ADS configuration. If you want to have the same ADS sensitivity as in your hip configuration, then use the following multipliers. For Ash, multiply your hip sensitivity with 0.61. So for me, that means 50 times 0.61, which is 30.50. My ADS sensitivity for Ash would therefore be 30.50. And for Widowmaker and Ana, you use a multiplier of 0.45. So 50 times 0.45 is 22.50. If I use that sensitivity, then I have the same turn speed in the hip and ADS mode with Widowmaker and Ana. Since I don't play Ash, I will keep my ADS sensitivity on 22.50. If you play all three heroes, then maybe create a third Overwatch configuration to cover all sniper heroes. That was already it. You can now save your changes in the top left corner. In the last chapter, I will show you how to increase the aim assist. But before I go over those matrix features, let's first cover the most optimal in-game aim assist settings. For Overwatch, I always recommend to dial in the aim assist settings of the game, before doing any bigger changes in your XIM configuration. Personally, I prefer the following in-game settings. An aim assist strength of 100, a window size of 25, and an ease in of 75. These settings work well for every character, including hitscan and projectile heroes. Other good settings are, for example, a window size of 20, and an ease in of 60. The window size will define how close you must place your crosshair next to the target, before the aim assist kicks in. Personally, I prefer a smaller value here, so my crosshair is not stopped or influenced by the aim assist, when I am not even on the target yet. And the ease in will change how the aim assist transition will be. I prefer a higher value here. This is mostly personal preference, but you can use my values as a guideline to find your own best values. Next, let's look at 3 different ways on how to increase the aim assist with Matrix. I will show them in the order in which you should use them. So as a start, only try the first method, and if that isn't enough, then add the second one, or even the third one. You can use them all at the same time, only some of them, or none, as all of these are optional. So if you already like your aiming experience, then I would not change anything. Also, if you created more than one Overwatch configuration, then please don't forget that you probably want to implement these changes to all of your Overwatch configurations. For demonstration purposes, I will add these features to my first configuration. But I will of course also add them to my sniper configuration for Ashe, Widowmaker, and Ana. First, I will show you a curve which will increase the aim assist for faster mouse movements. So flicking onto a target will become a little bit easier, because the aim assist will stop you at the right moment. It's a curve I am using for years now with XIM Apex, and it works just as well with XIM Matrix. Go into your hip configuration, and expand the advanced settings under the sensitivity option. There, you can enter the Ballistic Curve editor. Since manually editing a curve is a bit harder with Matrix, I have posted the copy and paste code for this curve in the video description. You must only click on the link in the video description, and copy the whole curve code from that website. After that, go back to your XIM manager, and click the paste button at the bottom of the curve generator. If you did everything correctly, your curve should look like this now. The idea of the curve is the following. In the first third, the curve will downscale your sensitivity a little bit. This will basically have no effect other than slightly lowering the sensitivity for slow mouse movements. In the other 2/3 of the curve, you can see that the graph is steeper than in the first third. This will cause your mouse movements to be slightly accelerated, but at a percentage that is not noticeable. It will improve the aim assist for faster mouse movements, which is very helpful if you want to switch between targets, or quickly flick onto the head of an enemy. Once you have changed the graph, you can close the curve editor. Since this curve slightly lowers your sensitivity, you may have to readjust your XIM sensitivity. The second aim assist booster is a special smoothing setup. Change the precision to 60, the response to 85, and the easing to 2. These smoothing values have been discovered by the XIM user Live. They are excellent for increasing the aim assist. Live originally developed this setup for XIM Nexus, but the effect works in the very same way for mice and keyboards with Matrix. Users who want to have the feeling of a XIM Apex can also use these smoothing settings. They will still feel like a XIM Apex, but with a little bit more aim assist. The last aim assist booster is the biggest one. It's a smart action called Orbital Aim Assist, and can be used on top of anything that I have shown you so far. What it will do is to trigger the aim assist at any possible time. You must no longer move your mouse to activate the aim assist. Before I show you the setup, here is a quick demonstration in the practice range. When I do not move my mouse, all these robots can pass my crosshair, and nothing is happening. This is because the aim assist only activates when either the crosshair is being moved, or your character is moving. As long as neither of the two is the case, nothing will trigger the aim assist. Now let me turn on the smart action. What it does is to move my crosshair in an extremely tiny circle. It is so small and slow, that it's barely noticeable. Again, I am not touching my mouse, or keyboard. When the robots are passing my crosshair, the aim assist is instantly being activated. The crosshair then slightly follows the enemies, until their aim assist bubbles have left the crosshair. And since Matrix is the only adapter on the market that can compute smart actions on top of mouse movements, this tiny circular movement will not affect your aiming in any negative way. Let me turn it off, and go somewhere else where there are no aim assist targets. Check any structures in the background, to see the minimal stutter of this smart action. Right now, the structures are perfectly still. I will now activate the Orbital Aim Assist. Now the structures in the background are stuttering a bit. It is not bad, and you won't notice it during actual gameplay, but if this minimal stutter is annoying for you, then maybe don't use this feature. I will now turn it off and on for a few times, so you can better compare the difference. Next, let me increase the intensity of the Orbital Aim Assist. That way you can see what it actually does. It basically moves your crosshair in a fast circle. Since watching this makes me dizzy, let's head over to the XIM Manager again. The way you add this smart action is by going into the video description of this video. There, I have added a link with the copy and paste code for this smart action. It's a very long and complex smart action, so showing the setup process would take a bit too long. Instead, just copy the full code, and do the following. Go to your button bindings, and scroll all the way to the bottom. There, you can click on the plus button. In the next menu, click the paste binding option at the very bottom. It's the dark gray option at the bottom of the list. If you did everything correctly, then your smart action will now look like mine. This may look a bit complicated now, but all you must know is that this smart action is basically replicating a small circular crosshair movement. The only important thing you should adjust here is the magnitude. You can find it in the first slot. A value of 0.06 is sufficient for Overwatch right now. If the aim mechanic in Overwatch ever changes, then it could be necessary to increase this value a little bit. Go with 0.10 then, and do the robot test that I have shown you earlier. It lets you test if the Orbital Aim Assist is working. As you can see at the very top, this smart action is bound to a toggle activation. So by pressing the X key, you can turn it on, and a second press will turn it off. You can of course change the activation key. You do that by pressing and holding the X key icon at the top. This will launch the binding menu again, where you can choose a different key or button. I will bind it to my left mouse button. After that, I will change the activation type from toggle to held. I prefer this kind of implementation of Orbital Aim Assist, because it will only activate the Orbital Aim Assist when I am shooting. That way my crosshair will not randomly get moved around by enemies. It basically gives me more control over the Orbital Aim Assist, and also increases my tracking and aiming while shooting. You however might prefer a different kind of activation. So if you prefer the toggle activation, then definitely go with that activation type instead. That was already it. You can now save your progress in the top left corner, and exit this configuration. As always, you can find the copy and paste code for this whole configuration in the video description. Again, my next video upload will show anti-recoil smart actions for Soldier and Baptiste. So subscribe to the channel to not miss that video.
So guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button or maybe even subscribe to this channel to not miss out on any of the upcoming videos. Also, contrary to popular belief, this channel is not an official XIM channel. I run this channel in my free time to bring you guys the latest XIM news and tricks. So if you want to support what I do, then maybe consider to join the YouTube channel membership. Channel members usually get around 1 to 4 weeks of early access to all new videos. Plus, we also have a nice little Discord to discuss XIM settings and other stuff. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching and I will maybe see you in the next one.